So Mac, we're on our third or second cup of coffee here.
Yeah.
So, Mac, so where are you from?
New Zealand.
And what was it like growing up in New Zealand as a kid, as a teenager? What did you do?
I was outside all the time, growing up on the farm. You know, I was milking cows. I was baling hay, driving a tractor from 8, much to my parents' dismay.
From 8 years old? 8
Yeah.
years old, you're driving.
Yeah, I was helping a rugby hay gang pick up hay and volunteered to drive the tractor, and I was worried about the tires going flat from the weight, so I'd put it in neutral and put the brake on and jump down. And my parents, when they were all drinking beer and eating bad pizza, spaghetti on pizza, what?
Whoa.
Yeah, it's a New Zealand thing. Horrifies my daughter as a New Yorker. And they're like, how'd it go? And they're like, oh, Mac was great. He was like driving the tractor. And my dad was like, don't ever do that. What if you'd slipped on the clutch? You could have been run over. So, you know, around a lot of heavy machinery. That's why I'm a bit deaf. That and punk rock, playing in bands. But yeah, I rode my bike. I had cousins nearby. We'd play all the time, ride motorbikes, horses. It was an agrarian thing, you know?
Yeah.
It was a small community of about 3,000.
And your dad was a big rugby player.
Yeah.
He had a farm and he was a big rugby player.
Yeah, and in the winter he would go off to play rugby, and I'd have to get up at 4:30 in the morning to milk the cows. Well, actually my sisters were doing it. I was a bit younger when he was still playing rugby. But he played for 20 years, and it was a large part of our lifestyle was hanging out with those people. You know, you wanted to build something, well, there's the brickie. He'll come and put the bricks on your house.
Whoa.
Here's the guy who's the electrician.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of DIY, and that's why I think the punk rock thing kind of fit in with that, because it was very DIY. And, you know, first band I was like 14, and we had instruments that, you know, my guitar was an acoustic that my dad had from a rugby tour, you know,
Whoa.
with like 2 strings on it.
Whoa.
You know, we played drums on the air training corps. It's like Boy Scouts, right? Marching drum, or, you know, and record on boom boxes, and think we were so great we sent it off to the National Rock and Roll magazine.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was fun.
Awesome.
But yeah, it's just like make your own fun, make your own adventure. And I was lucky. My parents were stable. They didn't get involved in the swinger parties that happened in town that broke up a lot of marriages.
Whoa.
Oh yeah, my sister telling me that story, I was like, really? Okay. Oh wow.
Yeah.
But you know, they met as teenagers and were happily married throughout. I think I only heard them argue once.
Wow.
So, yeah, I mean, life had its challenges. There was other things that came into the mix, but for the most part, I had a very stable and loving family that, you know, didn't argue.
Yeah.
They'd watch American sitcom and go, they're all yelling at each other. Yeah.
And you got into punk rock.
Yeah.
You're big musician and you have a lot of records, like great records. You have a Butthole Surfers album that's pretty awesome.
Oh yeah, I was heavily into American punk rock. I started off listening to English punk, but I didn't like the, you know, spiked hair, one chord thrash type stuff. So I was really into American punk, like the Dills and the Nuns and the Screamers and Black Flag and stuff like that at like 13 years old, after discovering and falling in love with Devo was my first obsession. But I was also listening to the Velvet Underground, lots of New Zealand bands that were influenced by that whole.
You have a pretty amazing record collection. If you ever get to go visit Mac at his house, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah. And what do you do now? Now you are like an art.
I'm in art logistics.
And you've handled some masterpieces.
Oh yeah,
What have
Picasso's, too many Warhols to name. I worked in New York for 17 years, and we packed and shipped for Christie's and Sotheby's and Phillips auction houses. So Johnny Cash's Visa card that just had his name on it.
Whoa.
Tennessee 3 guitars that would you'd open the case and there'd be a pack of nudie cards in there.
Whoa.
Lenny Bruce's diaries from when he was in,
Comedian.
yeah, when he was getting sued for, everything he was getting dragged through the courts for.
Wow.
for.
So you've seen a lot of like.
Stuff that not many people got to see.
Right.
Yeah, when I first got to New York, my first day on the job basically was the Marilyn Monroe sale at Christie's.
Whoa.
And I picked up the dress she sang "Happy Birthday, Mr. President" in, and I was like, no wonder she looks stoned. This thing's lead diamantes weigh about 50 pounds.
Whoa.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yeah. So it was fascinating, and for a kid who in high school was told, "Oh, you're another Hodge. You'll never be any good at art. Sit at the back." I've shown Mr. Ashby handled more Warhols than he had hot dinners, mate.
That's awesome. That's
It was
awesome.
pretty funny, pretty ironic. But I was also interested in art growing up, especially music led to that, like the Banana LP by the Velvet Underground, Andy Warhol, that connection, and just curious,
Yeah. So you're part of the Linmore Woods neighborhood. You're part of our neighborhood. Your daughter is a
EMT.
EMT. Your son plays in a band.
3 bands.
3 bands. So
Mhm.
we're talking about like the community here. What's the proverb or the word?
Yeah, there's an ancient Maori proverb that I've tried to live by and posted at jobs in my office and things like that, which is basically translated, what is the most important thing? And it is people, it is people, it is people. And I think that's pretty true.
How do you say it in English? Is there a phrase? Or?
Well, here's the thing, it's in Maori, but my grandmother told me at a young age, I asked her, why aren't we connected to the marae and our Maori ancestry? And she's like, well, when I was a kid in the 20s, they would beat you if you hit you with a ruler if you spoke Maori. So assimilation was a big thing.
And the Maori people, they were people who came from Hawaii
Correct.
to New Zealand on canoes.
Waka.
And started a community in New Zealand. They were like the first people. It was a country with no people, but when these Hawaiian people hit New Zealand, and I guess some people from Thailand, they colonized the.
Well, the migration goes Taiwan basically, so that's why I have in my DNA some Taiwanese. But basically, Polynesia migrated east, and then there was a reverse, where like Tonga, Samoa, Tahiti, Hawaii, Easter Island.
Whoa.
Were all basically connected, and New Zealand was the last landmass that was populated in that migration about 800 years ago. And there were just birds there.
Right.
There's no snakes, there's no spiders,
Right.
And so when they introduced Polynesian rats, that sort of started changing the balance in the ecosystem, and then the English Europeans brought, can't blame the English for everything.
Yeah.
But possums from Australia, which destroy trees, cats, rodents like weasels and stoats, because they wanted have something to hunt, or a little taste of home.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. And in your lineage, you have like this. You have Scottish, some Viking. What are all your? What's in your DNA?
Well, according to my my dad's sister, who did the DNA test, Inuit, Taiwanese, Maori, Scottish, Irish, Northern Scots-Irish.
Viking?
She had the Vikings show up, and I was like, well, that kind of maybe makes sense with the Inuit. I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty fascinating, though.
Wow, that's cool, man. Well, thanks for talking with me. We did an interview just a little bit ago, a little longer, more in-depth kind of history of New Zealand, which is awesome. I'll post this below in the link. But we're here at Corner Cup having on our second or third cup of coffee. So, all right, Mac, thank you for doing this.
Yeah,
It's
you're
awesome.
welcome.
Oh, and big shout out to Heaps Pies, where all the Kiwis hang out.
Steak and Stilton.
That's the type of pie to eat?
Unless you're a vegan and they have a masala that's...
Awesome.
All right.
We're going to go. All right.
Yeah.
Take it easy, man.
You too.